So for today, we're going to talk about grade 8 physics. So in this time, the learners study the concept of force and its relationship to motion. So they use Newton's laws of motion to explain why objects move or do not move. They also realized that force, if applied on a body, work can be done and it may cause a change in the energy of the body. So sa pang grade 8, it is just a continuation of galing doon sa grade 7. So for the first one, we have here force and motion. So in force is pushing and pulling up an object. So that is our definition of force. And also, it is defined in grade 8 that force is resulted from the interaction of two bodies or objects in an environment. But contrary to that, force does not always move an object. For example, we have gravitational force and magnetic force. Force is also considered to be a vector quantity. Again, when we say vector quantity, meaning it has a numerical value, a unit, and a direction. So we have two types of force. The first one is contact force and the second one is non-contact force. So when we say contact, there is a direct contact between two bodies, while in non-contact force, it is considered as long-range forces. So example, there is magnetic force and gravitational force. We have what we call net force. Net force is defined to be as the sum of the forces added up. For example, si Jatniel, ang force niya is 30 Newton. Si Hermie, ang force naman niya is 15 Newton. So, what are the forces of Jatniel and Hermie? So, ipag-a-add lang yung dalawa. So, the total net force of the two is 45 Newton. So, ganun lang kasimple yung net force dito. Next, in grade 8 also, they need to discuss what are the three laws of motion. So, the first law is the law of inertia. And laws of motion is proposed by Sir Isaac Newton. So, in the law of inertia, it states that everything will stay at rest when it is at rest and it in motion when it is in motion unless a force is acted upon it. So, tatakbo ang isang bagay hanggat walang force na tumitigil dito or magiging stay lang siya doon hanggang walang force na tumutulak sa isang bagay. So, ganun lang yung law of inertia. In the law of acceleration, it states that the force applied in a body is directly proportional to its acceleration but inversely proportional to its mass. So therefore, our formula will be force is equals to mass in kilograms multiplied to acceleration in meter per second squared. So F is equal to F multiplied to A. So the unit will be kilogram per meter per second squared or it is equivalent to Newton. Next, we have here the law of interaction. In the law of interaction, it states that in every action, there is an equal or opposite reaction. Additional for the law of acceleration. Kaya siya directly proportional but inversely proportional to mass. Kapag mabigat ang isang bagay, ito ay mabagal. Samantalang kapag magaan, mabilis naman yung acceleration ng isang object. Okay, next we have here different kinds of motion, but in circular motion. We have uniform circular motion, in which it states that a body moving in a circular path with a constant speed. So we have here speed is equal to 2 pi r divided by t. So, ano yung pi? Yung pi, di ba, sa isang circle, pi is equivalent to 3.14. And in a circle, we have there a diameter and radius. So, yung half ng diameter is known as the radius. Next, we have here centripetal acceleration. In centripetal acceleration, we're going to get the acceleration of a body transversing a circular path. Yung acceleration naman ng hinahanap dito. Dito sa isa, yung speed sa circle. Dito sa isa, acceleration sa circle. So, dito, Centripetal acceleration is equal to speed squared. So, yung speed, ang ginamit nating formula ay itong sa uniform circular motion divided by the radius. Next one, we're going to get also centripetal force. So, the force that makes the body follow a curved path or a circular path. So, we have here force or centripetal force is equal to the mass multiplied to speed squared divided by radius. So, ganun lang kasimple yung susundan na mga formula. Still, same pa rin kapag speed, ang gagamitin na unit is meter per second. Kapag naman acceleration ay meter per second squared. Kapag force, ang gagamitin ay kilogram per meter per second squared or the standard international unit which is Newton. Next, also in grade 8, because of force, we produce work. So work is the product of force in which the body exerts, such as in walking, climbing the stairs, multiplied to the distance in the direction of force. So therefore, we will have the formula force in Newton. So ito yung kanyang unit multiplied to the distance in meters. So work is equal to F multiplied to D. So we will have the unit for work rather, which is Newton per meter. And 1 Newton per meter is equivalent to 1 joule. The unit for work and energy is joule. Ayan, so lagi yung tatandaan. And in order to perform work, the ability to do this is called as energy. So we have two common types of energy. You already know this, the kinetic energy and potential energy, since this is already discussed in physics for health sciences. So for the first one, kinetic energy, we all know that it is the energy in motion, while potential energy is the energy at rest. So for kinetic energy, we have the formula 1/2 multiplied to mass multiplied to speed squared. And then we have here the unit which is joule. For potential energy, we have the mass multiplied to gravity which is constant. We have the constant equivalent for gravity which is 9.8 meter per second squared and multiplied to height which is in meters. So the unit for potential energy, since energy pa rin siya, is joule. Okay, so meanwhile, the rate of doing work is called as power. So power is defined to be work over time or rate of doing work. So in work, since the unit is joule, for time, the unit is seconds. So we have the unit for power as joule per second. 1 joule per second is equivalent to 1 watt. Yan. So, ang ating unit naman para sa power is watt. Formula, work divided by time. Okay. So, ganun lang kasimple yung mga formula for grade 8. And then, also, since they are discussing about work and energy, they will also discuss about simple machines. So what is a machine? A machine is a device that helps people to do work and to make work easier. And then we have two types of simple machines. But under the two types, meron pa silang mga categories or under pang iba. Number one is the lever. It consists of a rigid bar that is free to rotate from a fixed point called the fulcrum. So, alin ba? Ano ba yung mga under ng lever? Under din ng lever ang pulley at wheel and axle. Since itong dalawang to, yung pulley at wheel and axle, ay meron sila parehas na fulcrum. Kaya lang magkaiba kung saan nakalagay. Next, number 2 is the inclined plane. Inclined plane is a flat surface with one end higher than the other. Okay, so we have on dalawang under ng inclined plane, which is the wedge and the screw. So, for the activity, so you will answer one problem about sa power. Dito lang. So, dito lang iikot yung formula na gagamitin nyo. And then, you're also going to have different examples of lever, pulley, wheel and axle, wedge and screw. And you're going to differentiate a pulley from a wheel and axle and wedge from a screw.